Good morning, everyone. Logan Giles here on your Giles Scale Advisory number 2 for Tropical Storm Sally. Now, as of the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, Sally is a 60 mile an hour tropical storm, which is about 280 miles away from the mouth of the Mississippi River, which is where landfall is expected to be nearby. Impacts from Sally are expected to begin as soon as tonight for the Florida Panhandle and tomorrow morning for the Gulf Coast. Extremely, extremely dangerous and life-threatening storm surge, which will be located outside the southeast Louisiana Hurricane and Storms Damage Reduction Center and the Mississippi and Alabama coastline. Hurricane conditions from Grand Isle, Louisiana to Ocean Springs, Mississippi, which includes New Orleans, will begin early Tuesday morning. Expect those hurricane conditions to start on Tuesday morning. Rainfall is also a major threat. Significant and life-threatening flash flooding is expected to occur along the Gulf Coast and inland areas. This includes Central Florida. Heavy rainfall up to 15 inches will cause rivers and urban areas to rise with water. Now, this is a current satellite image of Tropical Storm Sally. It is fairly disorganized with most of the convection south of the center due to wind shear pushing in from the northwest, which essentially forces all of the showers and thunderstorms to the south of the center. However, it is expected to become fairly organized as it gets near landfall on Tuesday. This will be a daytime landfall, which is different from the last two storms, Isaias and Laura, which made landfall at night, which made things very dangerous as it was very hard to see the storm surge and rainfall. Now, let's see some of the impacts from the National Hurricane Center. This, as you can see, is the chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. If you are along the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama, it is very likely you will see winds of at least 39 miles an hour. In terms of hurricane force winds, if you live in southeast Louisiana, it is expected you will see hurricane force winds beginning Tuesday morning. Now, let's get to the Giles scale, which I have just updated for this advisory. I have added this remains mostly unchanged, but I've added a Category 2 rainfall risk just north. The rainfall risk of a Category 1 includes Morgan City and New Orleans, Louisiana, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Pensacola, and Panama City, Florida, while the Category 2 risk includes Gulfport and Pascagoula, Mississippi, and Mobile, Alabama. In terms of storm surge, which will be the highest impactful event, I have added a major hurricane impact for this. If you are from Crystal River, Florida, to the border with Alabama, and Vermilion Bay, Louisiana, you can expect Category 1 storm surge risk, or up to 3 feet. I'm expecting places west of the highest surge due to the offshore flow to not get as much surge because of this. The winds will be coming from the north, so winds will be offshore and not creating as much surge. This, of course, is the opposite in Florida, where the wind will be onshore, so storm surge will be closer to the 2 to 3 foot range, especially along the Big Bend and the Panhandle. If you are from Grand Isle, Louisiana, to Lake Pontchartrain, Louisiana, and Mobile Bay, Alabama, which includes the city of New Orleans, you can expect storm surge up to 7 feet. This is extremely dangerous and life-threatening. Storm surge above 4 feet can float and move vehicles. If you are from Eads, Louisiana to Pascagoula, Mississippi, along the Mississippi coast, you can expect major hurricane impacts in terms of storm surge. This can and will kill people. If you are not on an elevated house, this will pose a very serious threat to your life. However, storm surge is dependent on the intensity of Sally. If Sally is stronger, storm surge will be closer to the 11-foot range. While if it's weaker, it is going to be closer to the 7-foot range. Again, it does not matter where Sally makes landfall. Whoever is east of the center will see the strongest storm surge. The areas in southeast Louisiana are fairly unpopulated and are very sparse. However, places along Mississippi, such as Gulfport, Biloxi, and Pascagoula, are fairly populated towns along the Gulf of Mexico. So we will definitely see impacts from storm surge along there in Mississippi. Now, in terms of wind, I've added a Category 2 risk for those under a hurricane warning, while areas under a hurricane watch are under a Category 1 risk. Sally is forecasted to make landfall as a 90-mile-an-hour, as a 100-mile-an-hour Category 1 hurricane Tuesday afternoon. So those impacts are expected to be extremely dangerous. Now, you may see this and say, oh, it's only going to be a Category 1. It's only going to be a Category 2. Should I be really nervous? Should I be scared? Yes. Storm surge will be major impacts. It is going to be a problem and life-threatening. It's not easy to breathe below water, so please evacuate when told to do so. Evacuations have already begun along the Mississippi and Louisiana coastline, which includes the city of New Orleans. I will be back with the final update on Sally tomorrow evening as those tropical storm force winds begin to move onshore. Stay safe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.